Hey guys, how's it going? Dusty here, bringing you a deck profile for my latest deck, Galactic Emperor Aggro. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my deck profile for Galactic Emperor Aggro. Now this will be my last deck profile for set 1, but don't get too sad because I will be doing a lot more deck profiles going into set 2. Now these are my favorite type of videos to do. I love doing them and I always put so much time into these videos because I'll pick a deck, I'll keep tweaking it, I'll keep working on it, and I really want to bring you guys a very in-depth look at all these deck profiles. I just really feel like I can't do that anymore before set 2 hits. So again, I'm not going to do any more of these for set 1, but I will be back for set 2 and we'll be doing a lot more for that. Anyway, so let's get into the deck, and first let's talk about the leader, which is Frieza. Now this is a blue-red deck, so I want to say that first. And one of the big things to remember about this deck is this is the first aggro deck I've done for the game. It's a very aggressive deck. It only wants to go to 4 energy. Very rarely will it play its 5th energy, and that's for a multitude of reasons. The main reason being that the less energy you play, the more cards you have in hand to combo and to put threats out for your opponent. The second thing is having more cards in your hand also kind of helps combat the hand destruction decks. And so when you're only playing 4 energy, it's really hard for them to get all of the cards out of your hand. So that's why we only run 4 energy. And now we're going to use the leader Frieza to show kind of why we can get away with running such little energy. Now what Frieza does, as Frieza says, at the end of your turn, choose up to 1 of your battle cards and switch them into active mode. Again, I'm sorry, it's a little blurry. So what Frieza lets you do is at the end of your turn, you can choose 1 of your battle cards and you can switch it to active mode, which is very, very powerful. And I get it all the time. When I was testing this deck at my locals, people always told me, they're like, Dusty, you told us not to play leaders that can't awaken themselves or don't have a very consistent way of awakening. Why are you playing Frieza? And the reason why is because Frieza does have a way to awaken themselves, and this is it. What you want to do with this deck, and it's kind of unique to a lot of the other decks, is you want to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. You want to awaken them as soon as possible. And then if your threats are 15,000, you can then start putting more pressure on their leader. And what happens is they have to discard cards so they don't take damage because they don't want to lose life, very quickly. And what that does, that gets cards out of their hands. Now they have very few cards in their hand. And the only way they can refill their hand is to attack with their leader, right? Awakened leaders draw a card. And so since all of your threats are in active mode, the only person they can attack is your leader. And so it puts them in this really lose-lose situation where they can either, not attack you and then allow you to keep putting pressure on them, or attack you and give you cards. And that also allows you to awaken. So it's a very, very fun deck. It kind of goes a different route to have awaken and shows how you can really put pressure on your opponent and translate that into being awakened. Also, there's another way that we awaken, which we'll talk about later in the video. But again, this is a very powerful effect that I feel like is overlooked a lot when people talk about Frieza, since he is the only threat to attack. A lot of times you get awoken just simply because of that. Now, going to a Frieza's backside. Now what he does on the backside is essentially the same thing he does on the front side, except you choose 2 of your battle cards and switch into active mode. Again, once we get awoken, we start getting very powerful. We can start putting, essentially double the amount of threat on our opponent and draw a card every turn. This is an extremely powerful effect, and again, it just kind of goes into what we want to be doing with this leader. Now, let's move into the battle cards. And the first battle card, again, this is a blue-red deck. In my opinion, with set 1, you really can't build a deck that's going to be super competitive without putting blue in it. I mean, blue is just the best splashable color, or green is also another good option. And I think if you're going to play this deck, you need to either have blue or green in it. With this version of the deck, I decided to go with blue. I do think with set 2, green is going to look really good with this deck, and so it's just something to kind of keep a lookout for. And so again, since we ran blue, we're going to run, in my opinion, the staple of blue. We ran 4 energy boosted Majin Buu. Now this is a great threat. This is a great card. Comes to play 5,000 attacker, 0 cost 5,000 comboer. When he comes to play, you draw a card. This is a great turn 1 or turn 2 play. It allows you to kind of, start getting through your deck, looking for those big threats like Kaba, looking for hits, looking for those early threats if you don't have them. This is also a great card to play if you're afraid that your opponent has a way to deal with your early threats. So if they have full power energy counter, if they have Guldos or anything that can pressure your turn 1 plays, you just want to play out Buu instead. This will protect those plays and allow you to kind of get deeper into your deck. Fantastic card, and honestly, just the staple card if you're running blue. Next up is Kainsei and Son Goku. Again, in all my decks, I love running those one-cost cards that replace themselves. I think it's a great way to get up in card advantage early. It's also a good way to protect your leader. And again, since Frieza is the only threat we currently have, usually, if we're playing the deck right, Frieza is the only target our opponent will have to attack. And so it's really good to have these one-cost cards that replace themselves in order to protect him. Now, with Kainsei and Son Goku, we also run the starter Goku evolution line. And this is really important because this guy gives us a target to evolve on. He's essentially the Broly of our deck. And as you'll see once we get further into the deck profile, they are really good threats, and they really play well off of Frieza's ability. And so, again, this card's fantastic. He's good to search out threats, he's good to evolve on, and he's good to protect your leader. Very powerful card. Next up, we run our first red card, which is our one-cost Saiyan Kaba. I absolutely love this guy. I think he's fantastic. He allows us to put tons of pressure on our opponent. He's also our other way that we evolve. Now, what Saiyan Kaba does is when you attack with this card, also we run 4 of this, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. When we attack with this card, you essentially can choose to take a card from your life and put it into your hand. If you do that, then he gets plus 10,000 power and double strike for the remainder of the turn. Now, why this is important is because it gives us a way to awaken. It gives us a way to awaken our opponent extremely fast. So if they do deal with Kaba, we can still kind of go to our alternate awaken plan, which is just to put tons of pressure and make them have to attack us. Something else to remember about this card, and it's something I really want to talk about, and it's kind of the way that I guess the way the game plays is that when you attack with this card, you go into your opponent's negate step first. And so they have to choose if they're going to negate this card or not. You do not have to announce if you're using this ability first. And so if your opponent says, hey, I'm going to counter this, then you don't have to use the ability. But if they do counter it or negate it, you can still use the ability. And so that's something to remember. If you're down to like 3 life or 2 life and you swing with one, it's a good way, if they counter it, then just don't use the ability, save it for the other Kaba that you might have. A lot of the times, if I'm awakened, I don't have 2 threats out, I just have like maybe Kaba and another threat. I'll actually just attack with Kaba just to see if I can get a negate out of their hand. If they don't negate, I won't use his ability, and I'll just end the turn and ready him and go into my next turn. Also, Kaba is a great way to protect your leader after you've awakened. If you use his ability to awaken your leader, you can then, after you activate him, you can essentially use him the next turn to just combo to your leader and protect him. So it's a very versatile card that has tons of things you can do. And also, once we get further into the deck profile, I'll explain some other cute little tricks you can do with Kaba. But he's the backbone of the deck and very, very important. Okay, next up we have Hit. So Hit's 2 cost, 1 red, 15,000 attacker. Extremely strong, very powerful battle card. Again, he's just kind of a vanilla attacker though, and a lot of people look at this card and go like, hey, why do you run Hit? Why don't you run, something else? All he is a 15,000 attacker. Well, the first thing is, yes, he is a 15,000 attacker, and that's really important for our deck. Again, we want to be able to pressure our opponent once he's awakened, and that way we can kind of get that threat on Frieza and can awaken. Now, the upside for Hit is that he eventually can evolve into lightning fast Hit, which gets us kind of a late game win condition, which is good. And so that's why I chose this vanilla for our deck. Something else to remember is, again, I stay at 4 energy when I play this deck almost exclusively. However, I'll only play my 5th energy usually when I'm going to evolve Hit. Now, there are some other situations where you can play 5 energy, but again, I really like to stay at 4 and kind of take advantage of that card advantage. Anyway, so Hit's a great card, guys. Fantastic card. And the fact he evolves in lightning fast Hit just makes this icing on the cake. Next up, we have the Dora, the Emperor's Attendant. And that's a 2 cost, 1 yellow, 12,000 attacker, and this is our 0 cost combo card. And in case you guys aren't aware, if you're at 4 life or less, when you play this card as a combo, you get 10,000 power and you can draw a card. And because of that, you're going to see 4 of this in almost every deck. Again, your leader has to be yellow to run this card, and that's why it's in the deck. We're not running 3 callers in this deck. We're just literally, this is the only yellow card in the deck. Now, on top of that, I have tried this deck out as a 3-color deck. I put in some yellow, I put in Crusher Balls, Cobalus, a couple Battering Lasers, and Goldos, and really tried to run it 3-color. It was a really fun deck, but it just really wasn't aggressive. I found myself literally just playing the same cards I do in the 2-color version and just keeping the yellow cards kind of as counters, and it really just kind of made it awkward when I was trying to go for game. So I didn't end up making the last version of this 3-color, and so you'll never play this out as energy. So remember, guys, try to always play this out as a combo card. I don't want to say ever. There might be certain situations where you might have to play this out as energy, or you might want to play this out and then maybe play another one out as a threat, but really try not to do that because this card is just absolutely bonkers as a combo card. Okay, so next up we have Assailant Vegeta. Now this is a 3-cost, 1 blue, 15,000 critical attacker, and is honestly just a powerhouse in this deck. He allows you to put tons of pressure on your opponent. Also, again, it threatens awakened leaders. Even when your opponent isn't awakened, it allows you to kind of take card advantage from him. And again, people just do not want to get hit by Vegeta. It always feels bad when you do. And the great part about this deck is that Frieza protects him every single turn, and so they're going to have to deal with this every single turn that you attack. And so again, just a very powerful threat. Now, we don't run any of the Vegeta evolutions in the deck, and the main reason why is because most of them require too much blue energy to really evolve, or if they don't take a lot of blue energy to evolve, they do take a lot to play out without evolution. And because of that, I just felt like this was good enough, right? A 15,000 critical attacker was fine, and I didn't want to kind of mess up the energy in the deck. I literally run 2 red, 2 blue, stay at 4 most of the time. And again, I didn't want to kind of, put the Vegeta evolutions in there. But if you feel like you want to, again, guys, always try, take these deck profiles and shape them to the way you want to play. Okay, next up is my boy Rapid Spirit Ball Son Goku. Now, I absolutely love this card and feel like it's a very underrated card. Now, this is kind of our second hit in the deck. It's essentially a 2-cost threat that is very, very powerful. Now, what this card does is it has 15,000 power. It has a 1 blue and a colorless, and it lets you evolve on Son Goku's, and when you do play this card out, you can choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode. Now, this is extremely powerful because it lets us play Goku on 1, it lets us play out Son Goku on 2 with energy up, and it also gets around full power energy. It can't be full power energy. It also can't be Goldo because it's 3, even though it costs 2 to play. To evolve, it's still a 3-cost energy card. So it really helps us get around those matchups that we're really worried about protecting our threats early game. And so, for that reason and many more, in my opinion, Son Goku is a fantastic card in this deck, and honestly, just a fantastic card in general. Okay, next up, we run 4 Confident Batamino. Now, this is a 3-cost, 15,000 with a permanent. This card can attack battle cards that are in active mode. Now, again, I want to talk about this, and we run a lot of 3-cost cards in our deck, and the main reason why is because we want to come under that 4-drop curve and really put our opponents in a weird spot. Because we're playing so many 3-drops, what a lot of times happens is a lot of their controlling cards, like Cold Bloodlust, are just kind of dead in their hand, right? They don't want a Cold Bloodlust Confident Batamino. They don't want a Cold Bloodlust, a Goku or Hit, right? Like, these are ridiculous cards, right? And also, the fact we have Frieza as a leader, it really shuts down cards like Crusher Ball as well, because at the end of their turn, they just ready anyway. And so we're really trying to take advantage of that aspect of our deck, and Confident Batamino is another example of a really powerful 3-drop card that your opponent wants to take care of, but they just can't. And one of the great things this card does is because it can attack active battle cards, it could really put a lot of pressure on the hand destruction decks. It can stop other evolutions from happening. It's also really good in the mirror as well. So if you're expecting to play against this deck at your locals, you can run this card as well and really pressure those cards that are in active mode. So in my opinion, Confident Batamino is just a fantastic card, and again, just a really powerful 3-drop card. Now, moving on, we have a very powerful card, one of my favorite. We run 3 Raging Kaba. Now, this is a 4-cost, 2 red, double striking 20,000 power card. It has an auto. It says when this card evolves, switch the card to active mode, and it has 2 red, 1 for a evolution on Kaba. Now, I love this card, and I've won many games on turn 3 because of this card. Because what you can do, especially if you have multiple Kabas, you can do some really crazy stuff where you like attack with Kaba. Then you use a combo card out of your hand, 1-cost combo card out of your hand to buff Kaba, so you're attacking for like 25,000. Then you use Sensu Bean, go up to 30, ready 2 of your energy. Then play out another Kaba, use another Sensu Bean, do the same thing again, ready your energy back. Then tap 3, play out this Kaba, strengthen. Ready one of your Kabas, and then you attack. And the great thing about Kaba that a lot of people don't understand is that if you use his ability, his card gets plus 10,000 for the entire turn, and so that 10,000 will go onto this card as well, and the Sensu Bean you played will also go on this card as well. And so if you use Kaba's ability in a Sensu Bean, this card will get 30,000, it'll get the plus 10,000 from Kaba and the 5,000 from Sensu Bean. And so you can just put so much pressure on your opponent. Even going into turn 4, where sometimes you can play 2 of these out if you have enough Sensu Beans. There's this crazy play lines that you can make with this card. It makes this card so much fun, and it really makes it hard for your opponent to realize what's going on. There's been times where I've attacked 5 to 6 times a turn using this card and some other cards that we'll show as well. And so, again, guys, very powerful ability, but just remember that he does get his power from the Saiyan Kaba card and from from Sensu Beans, you know, it can go up to, you know, 30, 35,000. So very powerful card, guys. Definitely check him out. Next up, we have 2 Terra Assault Frost. Now, this is a card I started out with 4 of in the deck. I went to 3, now I'm at 2. Again, I don't really want to be playing threats on 4. Again, if I do, I'm kind of playing into Cold Bloodlust. But however, this card is extremely powerful. And the main thing this card does that I'll talk about is this has 15,000. It is double strike, but its auto ability says when this card attacks a battle card, KO that card after the battle. Then if your opponent's leader card has 10,000 or less power, inflict 1 damage to your opponent. Now this is a great way for us to awaken our opponent if we need to. This is a great way to pressure big threats that we can't really deal with, like Super Saiyan Gotenks as well. And the fact that he readies, it's icing on the cake, right? It lets us keep killing essentially 1 threat a turn if we need to. It's just a very powerful card. Now, if you do run the 3-colored version or you run yellow in your deck, this guy works great with Crusher Ball, where you can Crusher Ball threat on your opponent's turn, attack and kill him with this card, and then ready him at the end of your turn. Just a fantastic card. Now, we don't run any of the other Frost evolutions. This is just kind of our Beerus in the deck, essentially. And again, the reason why we don't run Beerus in the deck, because, you know, spoiler alert, we don't, and I did have him in earlier, it's just because I feel like he always came out like a turn late, and again, he requires us to go up to 5 energy to really take advantage of his effect, something that we don't really want to do. But this guy is kind of the pseudo Beerus in our deck. He gives us a little bit of removal. He still has that double strike, and he still lets us kind of awaken our opponent. So a very powerful card in the deck. Next up, we have, honestly, the all-star in the deck. I mean, actually, probably Raging Kaba is the card I've been the most impressed with in the deck, but this guy has just blown me away. We run 3 Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku Maximum Energy. This is from the starter deck, a very, very powerful card. He has Evolve, 2 blue, 2 on Son Goku, Double Strike, and an auto that says when a card evolves into this card gains dual attack for the duration of the turn, which means you can attack twice with this card. This card has won me countless amounts of games. When I start playing my locals or with my group of my teammates, essentially, you know, they have started to kill my Goku. So like we cannot let you get this guy on the field. He's just so powerful. He allows you to attack for 20,000 double strike, ready, attack for double strike, 20,000 double strike, and at the end of your turn, you just ready him. Boom, there you go. You get 2 attacks for free. He's super powerful. He's also really good in a pinch if you need to kill off your opponent's battle cards. You can literally, you know, try to kill 2 of them as well. Just a very, very powerful threat. He comes down on 4, which is super important. Just a very, very, very strong card. Again, he does require you to evolve off of Goku to get his ability, but again, that's why we run so many of them in the deck, and he's just such an underrated, powerful card. Okay. Next up is the last battle card, and that is we run 2 Lightning Fast Hit. Now this guy is fantastic. He evolves for 3 red and 2 on a hit, and when he comes into play, he deals 2 damage. Now again, I've won a lot of games with this card. Fantastic card. He kind of turns our hits into a win condition. Great. Now a lot of the times though, I just use him as a combo card or as energy, which is also fine. Again, just because we don't always, you know, can play him out doesn't mean he's not good in the deck. Another thing to remember is he is very, very weak to Cold Bloodlust as well, which is something we have to be familiar with as well, but still a very, very powerful card. Okay, guys, now we're going to go off and start talking about the extra cards. Now, again, this deck runs very few extra cards, and the reason why is because we don't, you know, we want it to still be very powerful during the combo phase. That's kind of how this deck works. And so, again, we only run about 3 different kinds of extra cards. We run 8 in total, and so let's get into them really quick. First of all, is we run 4 Sensu Bean. Now, anybody that knows me knows that there's no surprise I run this many of this card. I love Sensu Bean. I think it's probably one of the best cards in the game. Everyone always makes fun of me and trolls me and says it's bad. They're joking. It's just they love to troll me about it. Fantastic card. And this card opens up so many cool play lines in our deck. Again, we can use a Kaba. We can Sensu Bean the Kaba, play another Kaba out, and then ready them both with the Awaken Frieza's ability. We can use it in conjunction with Kabas into the Raging Kaba evolution. It's just such a fantastic card. You know, it's also very good on defense, but in this deck, we want to use it more as an offensive tool. And really, the funnest part about this deck, once you start figuring it out, is seeing all the really fun play lines you can make where you attack with something and use Sensu Bean to untap energy and then use that energy to place another threat out, and you start attacking your opponent multiple times a turn, and they just can't handle all the attacks. So fantastic card. Again, guys, just there's not much. I can't say enough about this card. I love it. Okay, next up we run 2 of the blue counterspell. Again, fantastic card. Essentially, it's free. You know, as long as you have a blue up, you can play it. Now, I'm not a big fan of counterspells in this deck, but I do think it's important to have always a couple of them because they really can allow you to survive longer than you need to, or that you would be able to without them. I'm sorry. And so, leading into our last extra card is 2 of the red counter card. Again, the reason why I run 2-2, I mean, you could get away with just running 4 of the blue one. I think that's fine. But I wanted to split the energy up because a lot of times, again, I don't want to use these counters out. But I did want to have 2 blue energy possibility and 2 red energy possibility. But again, if you want to run 4 blue, that's fine. The side effect of this card, it lets you, when you negate something, you essentially activate one of your, you switch one of your battle cards in active mode, is very important in the deck because it allows you to attack with 3 threats and still protect one of them, which is super important. A lot of times people will look at the deck and they'll be like, finally, he left something open, I can kill it. And you're just like, nah, Vados' assistant, stop it, ready him. And they're like, oh gosh, I just wasted an attack, you know, plus you protected him. It's just a really powerful effect, guys. Okay, guys, so that's it for this deck profile for Galactic Emperor Aggro. If you guys like the deck, let me know. I love hearing from you guys with the hand destruction deck. I love listening to you guys tell me that you're taking it to events. People would message me, tell me how well they did, some changes they would make to the deck. It was just fantastic, guys. I say it all the time, but I love making decks for this game, and honestly, it's the most rewarding experience for me. I love making decks, see people play them and get their side of the deck. It just makes me feel really good. It's just, it's honestly my favorite thing to do in the game is just build decks and construct stuff. Again, we'll have a lot more deck profiles going into set 2. And thank you guys again so much for the support, for the love. It just means the world to me. You guys are the best. And I will see you guys next time.